Hey, this is Ian. I'm here with Tanya. Tell us your name. How do you like to be referred to?
Anything nice. Tanya, Cha Cha Sandoval-McMahon. I'm not leaving out my heritage, and I brought my husband into it, who's gone now, but I believe in keeping everything together.
How did you get connected to Run Cholo Run?
Well, I went to the reading that you guys had. You had suggested coming to the reading, and it was really about me coming to the reading to support you. And then when I saw that Run Cholo Run was not really about, it didn't have enough culture in it, really heavy Mexican culture. And I had to interject something and say something. Being a vocal Latina that I am, and I will make sure that I want to see things done correctly. I don't want somebody else telling me, appropriating my culture.
And many of you have told us that on YouTube and in comments. So we listened.
Wow.
And
oh, I didn't know that.
how about that? Yeah.
I love that you listened. I think it's very important because so many times people take our culture and just run it into the ground because they think because they go and have a taco at Taco Bell and some of the kids work there, they think that that's what we're all about. We have such a rich and a deep culture, and we have the culture of Mexican American versus also the culture in Mexico. This is Mexican American, and that's what we're really focusing in on. Completely different mentality, and there's not a lot of us. I'm going to say there's a lot of Mexican Americans, but you're a Mexican American if you're born on this soil. That's what they consider Mexican Americans. I can't go to Mexico and say I'm a Mexican. They go, oh, you're really not a Mexican. There's a really weird thing with that. They call me a pocho. That means like you have a hole in the center of your heart, and I want to go, that's right. I may have a hole in the center of me, in the heart, but guess what? You can see through that hole to the future.
And what are some of those stereotypes that we're trying to break in Hollywood and movies?
People with so many tattoos on their face and teardrops and somebody coming out of jail. It's just time it's lifted. I mean, the black culture has amazing things on a positive level. They also have weird stuff too, but that's because, we're talking some of the rappers and so forth. But the images we're trying to break is showing us, and we're very intelligent. We are culturally very, very astute. We're also lawyers, doctors. I have a brother who's a doctor who's retired now, and a brother who's a camera guy, and he went back to school, and he just got out of the film industry. He just got burnt out on it. But the industry does not look at us in a positive image. We are still doing things like Mayans, and I've never been a Mayan. I've never danced around with feathers out my, you know what I mean? I am a Mexican American that has gone to college like every other culture in America. I don't know why they keep making us maids and keep doing everything with us with leaf blowers. I don't get it. So I want to change that by writing, and I do that comically. I have a whole thing comically that I do, and I really speak in terms. I have a joke that I say that, I don't speak Spanish, and that's because I'm a bad Mexican, but I don't speak Spanish because I didn't have a maid at home to teach me. That's a really huge statement. I think every Mexican American in the world would understand what that means. And that's because most of our parents were working at other people's houses, and we didn't learn our language, but the kids that they worked for learned the language. It's very interesting. When people write for the industry, or people write that don't really know our culture, they think that we should have we should be selling tamales or behind a desk, washing something or cleaning. Us Mexican women are B.A. That's, what I'm talking about there. Bad. But we're tough chicks. We've had to be. We've had to deal with a lot of the guys that are very specific and being very machismo. We have to deal with that. And then we have to deal with white guys. No offense. I married a white guy, so okay. I made him legal, actually. So
I can't do anything about it now.
He can't do anything about it now.
Or ever.
And it's okay. It's okay. But they constantly make us very unappealing. The women, that we're always cleaning, or it's very rare that you see. And if it is a Latino or Mexican American, it's always a part that somebody's come over across the border. We don't talk about the Mexican American in the manner that we have given so much to this country. It's amazing. And it has nothing to do with Christopher Columbus or not believing in that or disliking him. A lot of it has to do with a lot of the guys that are writing things. And these are guys that are usually very specific in the way that they feel a certain way politically. And I just want to go. I mean, I've had people tell me that because I don't speak Spanish that I'm racist. I'm like, really? Honestly?
So in the screenplay, there's two main female characters: the
Yes.
mom, who's an entrepreneur,
Yes.
and the girlfriend.
I don't even like to refer to her as a girlfriend. Okay?
She's not. Actually.
She's not. I changed that.
Okay.
So whenever you have that, the girlfriend, it's kind of like second or third tier.
Let's use their names. Mom's name is Liliana,
Liliana,
and our other main character is Marisol.
Marisol. She is Marisol is I made her educated. She wanted to go back to school. She had overdosed accidentally on fentanyl, because that's a big crazy thing in our community right now, in every community. But she came back to life. She really had a very, very specific voice and wanting more educationally. She wasn't just somebody who stayed in the neighborhood and decided to stay there. She wanted to educate herself. There was a big thing that the both of them had, but it was really about her stepping up and having a voice. And Liliana, even though she's a negative stereotype, she's really not even a stereotype. I made her a businesswoman. I made her have a business next door, and she's selling stuff, but she still is a businesswoman. And I made her so that you would love her. Regardless, you know these women when you see them. In every culture, there's somebody like this. And may it be because there's not an educational component to a lot of Mexican Americans at an early age. And she's probably, we're talking about somebody coming up in a neighborhood where they didn't want to educate you, where they didn't want you speaking Espanol. There was a time that happened, that people had to just kind of get by. And school was not an educational scenario where they pushed you, especially for women. They were just saying, get married, have kids. It's changing, and it's changed. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make Liliana a Latina that was changed, that would change. People would recognize her and understand that it's going to be different than other shows that you see. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to do. I got to tell you, whoever's going to play this part, it's a great role for a woman. It's a great role for a woman. Strong, smart, funny. She did some funny things.
Kind of like Tanya.
Well, kind of like me, I guess. Well, what can I say? I put myself a little into everybody. You know what I mean? I think it's really important to take a component of who you are and put it into characters. And, I love both the female characters. I thought that the script really needed that. And now it's sort of equaled out. I think it's very much equaled out. She's as strong as the male lead.
That's cool. I love it. I love that we finally got to introduce Tanya to you, our audience. Any last notes on the story? What are your hopes and dreams?
I want to see this. It's going to take off. There's no question about it. It's a little small neighborhood, East LA area. It's not South Central. I'm looking at it from that aspect of it being East LA, because you see a lot of houses and housing there, and people are still there. It's now South Central also. That's the big hood place, but that's a lot of immigrants coming in and living there. These were people from East LA that were Mexican American and born and raised there generationally. And that's what I can say is I just think that I want to take it from my experience of growing up in East LA and Echo Park and being Mexican American. I want to give the women a voice. I want to give my culture a voice.
Absolutely.
So.
Love it. I'm excited to see where we go next and bring you guys along and interact. Send us notes, send us comments, and tell us your stories. We want to hear your story.
Especially if you're Mexican American. Not that I wouldn't say anybody else, but people that have experiences with because there's always like a white guy in the neighborhood. There is, that grows up in a Latino neighborhood or a black neighborhood. I love that. I need to hear your voices, and as far as other Mexican Americans, anybody can please give us notes. We'll welcome them and consider them. But it's very important to to touch that place of the Mexican American community. I want to build it. I want to do it through these characters.